Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. So our presentation today is about the Quranic related projects that several members of our community have been working in the past. I have combined all those in a website which is Quran-EIC.com, and I have listed almost all the projects with the introduction of each project. So on the top of the projects is Al-Quran. This is the translation that Brother Saeed Malik has been doing, and he's going to talk about that. The format is that I will talk about 20 minutes, then Saeed Malik Saab for 15 minutes, and then Uwais Saab for 15 minutes, and then 10 minutes for question and answers. So the first project, this is on the list, is this Quranic translation, and it's called a living document, one of the. And then when you click on this green line, it will go into and give you some details of what this project is. So I'll let Saeed Malik Saab talk about that when his turn comes. The second project is also his project, and he wrote this book, which is called The Perspective of the Sign of Al-Quran. And again, some of the details of the projects will be presented when his turn comes. He will talk about that. And the third book is also Saeed Malik Saab's book, Meeting of Two Seas. And then we'll look into this also. Then after that is a project that Brother Uwais has been working. And these are all the books that have been released or they are in the process of being released. And this is about 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Uwais Dada is going to talk about that after Saeed Saab. Then I will go over some of the projects that I have been working. Lately, we have published about 5 books at Amazon. And these are the books, and they are different versions of that. This is basically the book where the new learners and the children can start learning how to read and understand Al-Quran. And then go further into the 30th juz with the translation and understanding of the Quran. And then at the last portion of the books is the how to perform the prayers with the meanings step by step. So these are the 5 different versions. And as you can see that this version is Arabic, English, Urdu, all 3 languages. The second version is only Arabic, English. There is another one which is only Arabic and Urdu. One of them is Roman Urdu, and one has Bangladesh and Bangla and Arabic English. So I'll just briefly go over one of these, some details, and then we'll move on. So if I click on, these are the 3 buttons here underneath, green bars. So if I click on the top one, it says, it'll give me the brief introduction of the book, which is in Arabic, English, and Urdu. So if I click on that, it will open a few pages of the book. So this book starts with the introduction. Why I wrote this book? Because we have been for generations teaching our children how to read the Arabic Quran without the understanding. So I have focused on the certain aspects that right from the beginning, this is again in English and Urdu, right from the beginning we should emphasize with the children and new learners of the Quran to understand the Quran with the meaning. So typically the book starts with the alphabets, qaida, and there are words and other details typically in a qaida. And then after child or a person, a new learner, has learned how to read the words of the Quran, then he should be taught the Quran with the meaning. So like here in this case, you can see that I have taken, the book has all the surahs of the Juz 30, but I have taken an example for display here, that if you are teaching the child, then on the right hand column is what the Arabic words are, and then English translation as well as Urdu translation in this particular book, and the color coding. So by recognizing the color of a word in Arabic, you can look into the word in Urdu or in English, and this way, depending on which language you prefer, you should be able to understand the meanings of the words of the Quran. And this is a big plus, because if the child or the early learner is taught by understanding the meaning and the translation, then all his life or her life, children will, when they grow up, they will read the Quran with the meaning and understanding. And then the last part, this is just a brief, is the how to perform the prayers, the salat, with the meanings of all the words that we recite in the Quran, in the salat. So like, what is the meaning of Subhanak Allahumma and what's the meaning of Wa bihamdika, both in English and Arabic. Especially if the child is reciting, most of us also, including very, sorry to say, don't even know the meaning when we say Tahiyyatu lillahi wa salawatu. We just recite because we memorized it. But in this book, I have given the details of the breakdown of the word by word meanings of all these things. These books are free, available. You can download. I have given the link here. Each book PDF file can be downloaded, or they can be obtained from the Amazon, which are available at a very low cost without any profit for the author or the writer. Then I will go to the next project that I've been working for a long time, is the translation of Arabic Quran with the color coding in Urdu as well as in English. And not only that, after completing the entire translation, I put this on the YouTube in a format, and I'll show you one example of that you can listen, you can watch, and you can read everything at the same time with the translation. So if I just click on this button which says Quran in Colors Arabic Urdu on YouTube, then it will bring all 114 surahs. They are on YouTube. So if I just click on first surah, Surah Al-Fatiha, you will see Arabic and Urdu. की तारीफ अल्लाह के लिए है जो रब है तमाम मखलूक़ात का। बहुत मेहरबान निहायत रहम वाला है। हाकिम है इंसाफ के दिन का। इय्याक नअबुदु व इय्याक नस्तईन। तेरी ही इबादत हम करते हैं और तुझ ही से हम मदद मांगते हैं। इहदिनस्सिरातल मुस्तकीम। हिदायत दे हमें सिरात मुस्तकीम पर। सिरातल्लज़ीना अनअमत अलैहिम गैरिल मग़दूबि अलैहिम वलद्दाल्लीन। रास्ते पर उनके तू फजल करता रहा जिन पर, ना उनके गुस्से होता रहा जिन पर, और ना गुमराहों के। So all 114 surahs are there. Anybody can watch them. So okay. So and the Quran is available for free download in the PDF format. The entire Quran can be downloaded also from the website. The next one is that I have spent several years doing the Arabic to English translation with the color coding. And again, this entire Quran is available for download, as well as it's available on YouTube. On the YouTube, I'll just give you one brief example here. Again, all 114 surahs are there, but the recitation is only in Arabic, not in English.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين.
So I have another version which is not color coded, but that has both Arabic recitation and English narration. That's also available on the website here. Then this particular Quran in basically three languages, Arabic, English, and Urdu, color coded. The entire Quran is also available on YouTube, can be heard and watched, as well as it can be downloaded without any cost from the website. The next project was done combined by myself and Munir Ahmad, who is our neighbor. He is nowadays in Wisconsin or some other state, but he comes and goes. He, mashallah, spent several years with me creating the Bangla version of the Quran. And this has 5 items in it. It has an Arabic recitation, and it's also available on YouTube. Arabic recitation, Bangla translation, narration, Bangla translation, Bangla tafsir. I'll just give you one example of that if I go again on the YouTube. And just open one of them, you can see the recitation is there, Arabic.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
দয়াময় পরম দয়ালু আল্লাহর নামে
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
The text format, Bangla, English, and the Bangla narration and the Arabic recitation, all these things are in just one place.
যিনি দয়াময়
And it's very much liked by the Bangladesh community, and they watch this. So that's the project that's complete and finished. Then I spent several years working on a new version of Tafhimul Quran, which was originally written by Sayyid Abul Ala Maududi. And I created the 3 versions of that. One is a combined Arabic English, one is Arabic Urdu, and one is in 3 languages, Arabic, English, and Urdu. So what it is that in the arrangement of the reformatting the Tafhimul Quran, I included the color-coded translation. So if someone is reading the Tafhimul Quran, then for example, here all the 114 surahs are there, and if I open one of the surahs, for example, you can see that the translation is color-coded, and the tafsir is also formatted for very easy understanding. So ayat by ayat, the original Tafhimul Quran was not written for ayat by ayat understanding. The way Maulana Maududi did that, he took a bunch of ayats together, and he took the approach of a translation of ruku by ruku, or 10-15 ayats at the same time. So the order got interchanged, and you don't know where the actual translation of a particular ayat starts and where the translation of another ayat stops. So I separated all those and used the color-coded translation and tafsir of each ayat separately. So if you see, like in this case, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, all the praise, and praise has asterisk 2 on it. That means that is the particular point where the tafsir should be given, and that's on the bottom of the left hand side. So this is the version of Arabic and English, and there is another version of this which is Arabic, English and Urdu. Briefly I'll show you one, and all this can be downloaded free without any cost. So here Arabic and English tafsir is there, and if you look at the meanings again, Arabic, English, Urdu translation, and then tafsir is also Arabic, and then underneath is Urdu, English and Urdu. So this is a combination which actually does not exist in any format other than PDF format here. So then I have learned Quranic Arabic, and here obviously I have been teaching for last 20 years in different Islamic centers the Quranic Arabic, how to understand the Arabic in Quran. So there are at least 4 different versions of that. For the first one is learn basic Quranic Arabic, and this has 21 videos. Each video is about 45 minutes. For a person who doesn't know anything about Arabic language or Quranic Arabic, by watching these videos, one can understand Quran in Arabic. Then the second version is that there are all the surahs of Juz 30, which are also available on YouTube. You can go one at a time. For example, the Surah Al-Fatiha, the first one, was come on. Yeah. No, that's natural. You cannot do it. So anyway, this was done at MCA, and this Surah Al-Fatiha, it took me 4 hours to complete the explanation of the words of the surah. So I went one word at a time, basic, every details of that.
Being as the moon and sound as the wind, this means fraud.
So every little word, every little letter was explained in this kind of teaching. So these, as you can see that it has like more than 1.1K views. So the whole 30th juz is there. And then there were some long surahs that were done over the period of several years. They are all listed here. Complete surahs, explanation, word by word breakdown in Arabic language. So these are available on YouTube for learning. Then another project that I spent time on was learn the Quranic rules of the Quranic Tajweed, how to pronounce the Quran correctly with makharij, with the definition of all, and these are one is in Arabic Urdu, one is Arabic English, and in between are the examples from the best reciters, how the makharij are done by choosing certain ayahs. So this is a kind of long detailed project that is available also. Then Quranic reading classes and Quranic reading aspects, and these are basically the versions, PDF versions of these books which are available on the website. And then meaning explanation of Quranic surah. These are the tafasir which I did over when this masjid was the small masjid. For several years I had been doing the tafsir, the surah, almost all Surah Baqarah, the tafasir was done, Surah Al-Araf, Al-Waqi and Al-Hujurat. All these are videos available. Then there are like hundreds of these Urdu Tashrihul Quran, and these are also the videos which are available. Each one of them is 45 minutes about, and these are the classes that I have been teaching online to the people of Folsom, California. And these were recorded and the explanation of the details of the Quranic verses. Then there are many khutbahs and Ramadan, Taraweeh. And there is one thing I wanted to mention, that Brother Zille Hassan is not here, but this particular project that he worked on, and I have listed here as a Taraweeh, Ramadan Taraweeh, and he wrote the tafsir, for example, if I just click on one item, every night before Ramadan Taraweeh, he sent out the explanation and the details of all the verses that would be recited that night, and it was very useful. Now it has been compiled in this format and is available on the website. And then there are a few other items. Everything is available on YouTube. So these are the projects that have been basically worked in this community in Evergreen Islamic Center and the area. So these were basically my projects, and then basically you can see that these 3 books sitting here are the large amount of work that Sayyid Malik Saab has been doing. Mashallah, he's going to talk about that. And
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. And I think I'm loud enough. You want this?
I don't think we need it.
And Jazakallah khair, Ustaz. At the expense of coming here or overexposing myself, I think I've discussed my books before, but when your teacher tells you to do something, you've got to say labbaik. So here am I. I'll try to make this interesting, and because I was talking of 3 books, I thought I'd just make it a PowerPoint so my thoughts are not too scattered. You know, I was running a company and I spent years controlling a company and designing a piece of software that would dictate, facilitate, and archive every transaction from the cradle to the grave. Okay? And Alhamdulillah, I wrote this software. It was called ERP 2020. And one day I was sitting in my office and I was staring at 3 thick manuals like this. I only have one now. And I told myself that the day I leave this office, the first thing the guy is going to come and do is clean my bookshelf and probably toss these away. So I wanted to do something which I could claim to be my legacy, which I would be proud. And when I say legacy, I've always meant my children and my grandchildren. Anything else is a bonus. So Y2K came along. Those of you who develop software, I don't know if you remember the hoopla, the world was going to come to an end. The world didn't, and I decided that this was time to now start living life from the heart. Instead of, you can see the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
For some reason it's slightly offset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's,
Huh?
it should be, if you move left or right.
No, I can move left or right.
I think it's, go to the next one. Does it, go to the next slide.
Okay, so we will live with it.
Okay.
So when you start doing things from the heart, things that you truly want to do. That's when you embark on the labor of love. Okay? So life didn't change for me. I was doing a lot of writing. I told you I've got 3 volumes of this, but it wasn't the labor of love. That's when I started to work on this book, and it typically takes me 7 years, maybe 10 years, and notice through the prism of the heart. Okay? This is a self-published book. Alhamdulillah, it is recognized by some sites as a book that students should read on the Quran. I had it reviewed by Kirkus. Kirkus is for people who do who self-publish. This is the venerable review site to go to. And both my books, alhamdulillah, got this. It's a very coveted award. And it is their recommendation where they tell you to buy the book. Okay? So it was, if you see on the left-hand side, their verdict is get it. That applies for both my books. So the barakah of Allah is there. And it was also reviewed by the Book Life, in which my second book was the only Islamic book that came in the top 20 books of spirituality. When I embarked on this, I asked myself, what is my business in doing this? Someone could ask me, what are your credentials? Okay? And to be honest with you, this was an invitation to me. This is from the last khutbah of the Prophet. Not every version includes this, but the version that I read, look at the beauty in these words. All those who listen to me shall pass on my words to others, and those to others again. And may the last ones understand my words better than those who listen to me directly. Allahu Akbar. This is the invitation to the mystical beauty of the Quran. And he concluded his khutbah by saying, be my witness, I've conveyed your message to your people. And the message obviously was the Quran. So what was my business in approaching this Quran? An invitation from the Prophet himself. And I've always maintained that God, the guide, sends you the means for you to approach the Quran and for you to gain whatever you sincerely want to gain from the Quran. It all started off with me by the Sunday morning classes by Hafiz Sahib. I was a novice before that. I didn't know Alif from Bay. And you have to trust me that as these classes progressed, God sent us teachers, grammar teachers like Sayyid Akbar. We all studied the Medina books on the classes from Toronto. We all studied a 1-week crash course by Noman Ali Khan of Bayyana University. In the mix, we found Arabic speakers, Nazir and Zaglul, and there were many others. Very many motivated fellow students that I think the people who attended the class 20 years ago, they're still there. So that speaks to their motivation. And what has changed for us is the 24/7 access that we have on certain websites. And I've listed only 2. These to me are lifelines. The corpus.quran.com, the cross-reference capability it gives to me. It is like me having 30 Hufaz sitting in a room and me asking them, tell me where this word is in the Quran. And now it is on my fingertips. So the tools that we have today were not available to Quranic scholars even 100 years ago. Then there's this website, islamawaken.com. He's got every translation on the same page for every verse. He's got every translation done by every English translation, I should say. So the facilities and the tools that we have are unending. Now, pursuing that same question, what business do I have? Read this. Attabi'u ma unzila alaykum min rabbikum wa la tattabi'u min dunihi awliya qalilum ma tazakkarun. Do you see something here? Unzila alaykum. Mostly in the Quran it comes unzila alayka to the Prophet. Do you see what this means? This means that now the revelation to the messenger is revelation upon us. So it is everyone's business to try to approach the Quran. The living miracle of the Prophet's mission is that through the Arabic Quran, the Quran was revealed to the Prophet in consonance to his mission. But this is the ijaz of the Quran. It continues to offer its beneficence to any spiritual seeker. It speaks to us in our condition. And I don't take this lightly. When I came across this, Ma unzila alaykum, I can't express to you what my feeling was. So this is why it is my business and your business. When I finished the first book, I kind of had a postpartum. I didn't know what to do. So I started my second book. My second book was really the coming together of the empirical and the spiritual. And that is what Surah Kahf is. Majma al-Bahrain is the meeting of two seas. The two seas are one sea is the sea of your empirical intellect. The other sea is the sea of your spiritual intellect. Or you can say the sea of the hidden and the manifested, the Zahir and the Batin. Or you can say, I'm saying it again in a different way, the inner and the outer. And the meeting of the spiritual and the physical causes. There's something extremely deep in this concept, the spiritual and the physical causes. We believe that for everything that happens, it starts off with a spiritual cause. We understand physical causes. It rains because the clouds are there, right? And the pressure gets intense and the water drops down. These are physical causes. But spiritual causes are different. In spiritual causes, you reverse time. You say that Junaid is the reason why Ali was born or why Ali was married. The spiritual cause for Junaid was Ali getting married. You see what I'm trying to say? The spiritual cause for me being here is the Prophet bringing the Quran. Why do I say that? If you read Surah Maryam, it starts off, it is the story about Hazrat Isa. It is about Hazrat Isa, but the spiritual cause goes backwards. It goes from Hazrat Isa to Hazrat Maryam to the house of Imran. This is the beauty of life. We are here today. And everything that happened was to enable us to be here today. Do you get what I'm trying to say? When you look at the spiritual cause, you reverse everything. That to me is the essence of Surah Kahf, and this is what took me to meeting of the two seas. The the deeper point about this is to understand, because this is all about time, understand about time and about reality and certain other things. I'm not going to bore you with this. How's my time going, by the way? Actually, I have some time from Hafiz Saab's bank, right? So in the very beginning of my book, I list some definitions, and I say, at the risk of losing you, let me define some terms for you, because this is remember, the meeting of the two C's, the meeting of the empirical and the spiritual. So time is a medium in which man, God's deputy on earth, may experience the creativity of God, and by the way, everything that I've got here is from one of the books. This is from Meeting of the Two Seas. May experience the creativity of God and exercise his own creative will. The if and then of our logic and analytical observation exist only in time. Cause and effect, the mechanism of observation and experience, can operate only within the flow of time. Every living pulse needs time for its beat. The flow of time is the ground of our empirical reality. Without the flow of time, there would be no motion. Without motion, there would be no forms. Without forms, there would be no cosmos. Without time, we can have no sensory experience except what has become part of our consciousness. That is why consciousness is timeless. Facts are time-based. We can agree on facts because of our shared time flow. The uniformity of facts is dependent on the uniformity of time. As we will see later in this book, in the story of the young men in the cave, facts break down when the uniformity of time is fractured. So we go into these discussions about ghaib, which is timeless, when everything about us is time-based. The moment it becomes timeless, there's no logic. The moment it becomes timeless, there are no forms. There is no physicality anymore. That to me is the essence of ghaib and the essence of pursuit of ghaib, the understanding of ghaib. Similarly, real. To us it is reality. It is reality we are sitting here. But reality truly is that which does not change with time. And therefore that would eliminate all forms and phenomena. It is the essence we call God, known completely to God alone, that does not change. So only God is al-haq, is reality. Timelessness, I'm going to skip over these, okay? Spirit. By the way, this is all being gleaned from Surah Kahf. We truly do not know, it is unfathomable, though essential and the crowning link of every divinely created thing to its source. When God blew into us of His Spirit, we became worthier than the angels. The Spirit belongs to the real realm. It transcends time. The soul, the seeker. This, to me, is very fundamental to understanding of Surah Kahf or the study of the Quran. Seeker is someone who is intellectually honest, humble, and hungry, and of course does not live by bread alone. The seeker has gotten the scent. He can only get a scent. We cannot define it, of another realm that hides behind the realm of forms and phenomena. He or she is willing to consider that it is not the body or the world that bears consciousness, but it is consciousness that bears the body and the world. This is very important. We think that our consciousness is born by our body. That's not true. Our bodies are there because we are conscious. Einstein says that the cosmos exists because we can think it. We haven't touched it. We haven't gone there. A dog doesn't know about the cosmos. It exists because we can think it. We exist in our dreams because of our consciousness. Okay? Our consciousness is our eternal being. Our consciousness is something that We never lose. Our consciousness is what we take and present to God. I already talked about the physical cause, that behind every cause in your life, you are where you are because of a series of events that God planned for you to be here. Which brings me to the definition of realm. Realm is a station of existence or a state of consciousness. It is a womb for a child, heavens and earth for a child outside the womb. The presence of God. Actually, I'm losing some text too. It is the presence of God for a spirit. Realms are therefore rank of consciousness or entities in knowledge. Okay, this is the 20th century is a realm. Greenland is a realm. The kingdom of Harun Rashid was a realm. So realms exist in place and time. And the reason I want to make this my last definition is because of my next book. This cover, by the way, was designed by Uwais Dada, who's the next speaker. This is what I tell you, that God sends for you whatever you need to. I was looking for someone to design the cover for this, and I am a very non-aesthetic person, and to me it's a chore. Without me even asking him, he was proofreading my book to simplify it, to get rid of some politically incorrect words. He said, I want to make the cover for the book, so here it is. Now, I already explained to you why is it my business to study the Quran, and why is it my business to put it together. Okay? I start with the tenet, with the belief, with the firm belief that when one approaches the Quran with sincerity, God manages the journey for him. That is the ijaz of the Quran. People say the ijaz of the Quran is its grammar. The ijaz of the Quran is this. The moment you can decode the ijaz is from mu'jiza. The moment you can decode the ijaz, that means it's no longer the ijaz. Okay? The ijaz of the Quran is that you launch into it, it will change you, you didn't even know how it changed you, and you won't even know when it happened. That to me is the ijaz of the Quran. Guess why? Because the guide is Allah. When God Al-Hadi is one's guide, one needs no more than a sincere desire. God asks one thing of you, ikhlas. If your desire is sincere, and a sincere desire doesn't mean that I'm sincere and I'm not going to do anything. It means you're going to show your commitment. Otherwise, you're not sincere. Then God provides for whatever else God may deem necessary. Remember, I said at the outset, I started with a class and Arabs came my way and books came my way. Those are all God's tools, God's means for me and for you and for every one of us. We simply need to be aware of that. God provides for whatever else God may deem necessary. It is this faith that gave me the courage and the impetus to embark upon this study. Now, why another translation? Is this translation even for you? And this is the book, by the way. First of all, I will always say there is no one translation that is adequate. You cannot, if you want, you always have to go to the source, which is the Arabic Quran, and the translation is one more flavor. And no one person, no one scholar has captured the entire flavor. He's captured aspects of it. Two observers 100 years apart, gazing at the sky from the same place, will relate their observations in different ways, even if both experienced equal awe and humility. When I look at the sky, I have a certain awe. If someone looked at it 1400 years ago, they had a certain awe. but their experience is not the same. They all may be the same, but their experience is not the same. The sky did not change. The observers changed. The sky is an evocative sign of God. Mutashabihat. It reminds you of something. It's an evocative sign of God, just as so much of the Quran consists of evocative signs of God, evocative signs of God. Mutashabihat. Therefore, any rendering of the Quran or any comment in any words other than its own Arabic words is at best a perspective. The Arabic Quran has not changed, but the perspective of the contemplators has changed. The Arabic Quran, because it is living guidance, accounts for and it provides for changing times. If you do not believe that, then you don't believe that it is a living book. If you do not believe that it doesn't speak to your condition, then you don't believe that this is a living book. This translation is worth a try if you want to include a contemporary perspective. Notice I said include a contemporary perspective in your study of the Arabic Quran.
So I'm humbled to be given this opportunity to present my work. I'm not a scholar, I'm just a learner. I'm a student of Hafiz and Malik. It's really been very encouraging, this environment where I have this opportunity. I could have never imagined that I would really be presenting something like this. As I mentioned, I'm just a learner. I'm just seeking to learn more about Quran. So what a wonderful place. I mean, such scholars in Evergreen. So my book is 99 Names of Allah. Here's a copy, if you'd like to look through that. Inspiration was really to, learn and memorize the Asma al-Husna and the 99 beautiful names of Allah. And besides the technology, that world that we live in and are occupied by pretty much our entire lives, I wanted to do something that was fun and part of my interest. So, and this book is a combination of all of those things where, I'm really, very interested in Islamic art and architecture. And, part of that is the Islamic geometric patterns. These are really something that are very inspiring, and they're a source of dawah for us, really. I mean, many non-Muslims are also inspired by the Islamic geometric patterns and the culture and the history preserved through that. So I could talk a lot about it, but I want to focus on. So I basically took to complement the names of Allah, I'm using a lot of these tools which are designed to help us memorize and be more familiar with and get a better understanding. So in addition to, and I'll go through the details of each page layout, I've also used Rumi's quotes to complement the beautiful names and the translations of those. And I wanted to share all of these with kids, so I put this book together. So the importance of Asma al-Husna has been mentioned in Quran in several points. We have one surah here, and the verse about how we were created to remember Allah and to do the zikr. And also in hadith that the 99 names of Almighty Allah, whoever commits them to memory and rehearses them regularly will enter paradise. Just 99 words are tickets to paradise. So I think I wanted to sort of make this accessible for younger generation and for ourselves as well, so myself including, of course. It's not just memorizing, really. I mean, the memorizing is the first step, right? It is more of contemplating, meditating, understanding. All of those things basically, the 99 names reflect the unique qualities of Allah. And by contemplating, embodying them in our daily lives, we become better people, spiritually and, for the Ummah. And additionally, invoking these names and prayers bring us peace, guidance, and blessings, strengthening our faith. I think, bringing this to children at a young age, getting them familiar with the beautiful names of Allah, will help them become better Muslims. So the way I laid out the page with feedback from the community is there's the Arabic name of Allah with the translation as well as transliteration, plus the quote from a relevant quote from Rumi, and I find that the quotes sort of help us understand and then be able to memorize and be more of a tool to help us to memorize and understand the names. Each of these names is beautifully complemented. Divine names are beautifully complemented and serve as a way to learn. The Islamic geometric patterns, as I mentioned, are not just decorative designs. There is, a lot of history behind the artistry, the mathematical precision, and how it has evolved over centuries, and how it's been still continues to get interests of a very large community, including non-Muslims. So by doing all of this, as the benefits of a coloring book really is to reinforce on hands-on learning as a tool to memorize. It's just it's a unique way of being able to focus and to learn. And then a little bit of background on the geometric patterns. Obviously, we see them in palaces, from mosques, in all around the Islamic empires. Each of these patterns are basically based on a basic building block, which is a star, and then you can elaborate that with layers of intersections, embellishments, anything creative that the artists across centuries and across different parts of the world have created, from Central Asia, the Mughals, and all across, and even in Turkey, of course. I actually have a short 1 minute time lapse that I'm going to bring up, and let me just conclude this. So at the end of the back cover, there's a little poem about geometry. This book is available, as others mentioned, on Amazon, as well as an ebook. at a very low price, and all of the 100% of the proceeds from that will be donated to Evergreen Islamic Center. And so let me switch to the video. Okay, so this is how it's manually drawn, the patterns, this geometric patterns. And as you can see, this is a lot of work. And, you know, think about how the artisans of all of these grand mosques and palaces had to work tirelessly to create all of these tiles to decorate. These are some of the webinars people do on how to draw. And color, and you know, you can use your imagination and fill in. This is like on the roof of a mosque, tiles. And look at the beauty of this. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much for your time.